Hi JT, how are you? This is Coach Daniel. Thank you very much for sending a video over and hiring me to review it for you. We're going to talk about several things here, but most importantly, we're going to talk about this right here. So there are several things about your game that are doing really, really well. One of them is your stance. Your stance, the way you start with the ball is really good. The way you finish with the ball is really, really solid and very well balanced. So we got to keep that. Your ending and your stance are your two strongest suits. Now, the bigger issue is right here when you get started. You see, you're moving the ball upwards quite a bit before you swing. Sorry, the video is a little clicky when it comes to the ending of the video. So, as I watch you start the ball, we can see you move it quite a bit upwards and then down. Part of the issue with that is that now the bowling ball is getting away from your center of gravity. Your center of gravity is always going to be between your spine and your belly button, right? And right here at your stance, you have it just right. You have a very short distance between your center of gravity and the bowling ball. That's exactly what we're looking for. But when you start moving, we see that distance not only increase, but you're adding upwards direction to the bowling ball. And at that point, what's going to happen is that by creating that distance between your center of gravity and the ball, you're allowing Mother Gravity to take over and do more than it's supposed to do. And that's always going to hurt you in the sense of leverage. You see, we don't want Mother Gravity throwing the ball. We want you throwing the ball, right? So, and the telltale sign comes right here. I want you to correlate how the bowling ball moves versus how your head moves. I'm going to move the video very slowly. And you'll see how your head is actually following the bowling ball. And at this point, just as an example, just as a balance show for you, at this point, I want you to pay really close attention to where your weight is. See, at this point, your weight is on your right foot. And if I draw a vertical line up from your point of contact with the wood, you will notice that a lot of your body parts, the majority of it, is way ahead of that line. Your torso, your head, the bowling ball is very far away from that line. And this is going to give you great amount of grief trying to control this. Because just think about it on a weight distribution direction. If your weight is on that right leg at this point and you have what do you think that is? 95% of all of you ahead of that spot, that's always going to put you off balance. Or maybe not off balance, because you do arrive at the foul line well balanced, but I would say off leveraged. Okay, so enough with describing the issue. Here's what I would do if I was you. So when I first met you, you had this issue before, right? This is something you and I have talked about before. And full circle, a year and a half later, that issue is still there. So I have a new recommendation for you that is a little kooky, it's a little different, but I've had a lot of success with it, a tremendous amount of success. See, we're lucky that you are in a bowling center that doesn't have a step right there between the approach and the bowler's area. So here's what I would say. Next time you go practice, we have to break this cycle. This cycle of moving the ball upwards and allowing your head to follow the ball. So I'm going to recommend to you that you try unbowling. In order to add, see what part of what happens, JT, and I'm going to go a bit on a tangent here, but I've been teaching for a long time and I believe in this. Part of what happens is that We all bowlers grab a bowling ball, put it in our hand. We try to create a new movement. We try to learn a new thing. But then when we put a bowling ball in our hand, what's going to happen is that JT's brain is going to say, hey, it's time to bowl. How is your brain going to bowl? Well, your brain is going to bowl the way JT bowls, right? That's the norm. You go bowling, you put a bowling ball in your hand and you bowl your way. How do you get better? You got to change your way into something else, right? You got to better your movements, but you got to fight your brain for it because your brain is already wired to do this. So what I recommend you do is go ahead and unbowl. I want you to step about 5, 6, 7 feet away from the approach. This is a little nuts, so you may want to do it when the bowling center is not full because it's going to look a little cookie. So go ahead and step about 5, 6 feet away from the approach. Then you're going to assume this position. You're going to assume your starting position. Then you're going to simply start walking. It doesn't matter what foot you start with. It doesn't matter how many steps you take, as long as they're all small and relaxed and slow. You don't want to go fast on this. Go all the way back there and then just start stepping. Step, 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 step. Whenever you feel the instinct of, oh, I have taken enough steps, I got to swing and then throw. Go ahead and swing and throw. So you're going to go all the way back here and go step, 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 step. Whenever you feel it's appropriate, you swing back and swing forward and throw the ball. And that will create a new feel here. Because right now what you have going on is a trigger. Your brain says, oh, trigger, move the ball, and boom, you move the ball up and away. So if you start all the way back here and allow your steps to just step, 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 step until you feel like it's appropriate to swing it and throw it, then just swing it and throw it. Follow your instinct more than you follow the norm of JT's bowling. And that will make a huge difference for you. I would recommend you go and throw 3, 4, 5 shots of unbowling, like I call it, and then throw a normal shot. And then throw 3, 4, 5 of unbowling, and then throw a normal shot. Whatever is comfortable for you. You just have to create a mixture of more unbowling than bowling. As you throw the normal bowling shots, you want to concentrate on moving the ball down instead of up and away. The motion of the ball should be this way. Actually, I'm sorry, let me draw that better. Should be this way. And in your case, we're going to see that the motion of the ball is this way. Right? Yeah, I might have drawn that a little too long. There. So, that unbowling exercise will do wonders for you. I promise you. I've done it a million times. I'm sorry it's going to look a little silly. Now that said, as you start mixing unbowling with bowling, one of the things I want you to really concentrate on is to increase the distance between your head and the bowling ball. See, check this out. Right here, between your chin and the ball, you have X amount of distance, right? If the goal is to swing the ball, right? That means that bowling ball should be getting away from your chin. Right? That distance between your chin and the bowling ball should get bigger because you're swinging the ball down. That's what I want you to really concentrate on. Keep your head up, straight upright, and concentrate on making sure there's a big distance between your head and the bowling ball. The distance between your head and the bowling ball, as you swing it, becomes your leverage point. The more leverage you can create, the more distance you can create between the ball and the head, the more leverage you can create. So that will really, really help you. As you get moving, I want you to really pay. Okay, so that was one thing. Totally separate from that. At some point, I would love to see you start working on your left hand. You see, watch your left hand. Right here, it's in contact with the ball. It loses contact with the ball. It goes straight down and to the side of you. It tries to go forward a bit, but then it comes down to your knee. You see that right there? So, what I would suggest is right here at the moment when the left hand loses contact with the ball, which is right here, which I'm hoping that eventually will become here, right? Because you're not going to move the ball up and away. You're going to move it forward and down. So that said, as the left hand leaves contact with the ball, I want you to throw it dead forward at a 45-degree angle ahead of you, right here. This will require you to use some upper left back muscles, like the muscles around your left shoulder blade. It will require you to use a lot of your left pectoral muscle, your left chest muscle. You're really gonna put emphasis on those muscles. Throw that left arm forward and stiffen it. That left arm should be absolutely stiff in a forward position. And that will make a huge difference on your backswing. At this point, you see your backswing is a little shallow. There's a very small amount of distance between your backside and the bowling ball. So by you having your left arm forward, it will allow for your right arm to go up just a little bit more. You do need your backswing to come a little higher. So throw that left arm forward and keep it forward all the way. Here's the trick. That left arm stays forward all the way until the bowling ball starts coming down. Once the bowling ball starts coming down, say your left arm is here, right arm is here, it's going to be a little higher naturally. Once the right arm starts coming down with the ball, the left arm starts traveling back. And you can see how that starts building some synergy. And that will really help you. I did watch the back view video, but I chose not to use it simply because the back view doesn't have as much meat to talk about as this. But I do want to mention to you that as I watch your back, and the other thing that happens is that the program itself, when I'm working on a side-by-side comparison like back view, side view, it puts the two videos together in one screen, and it makes the screen a little bit small. It makes each one of these a bit smaller. So I chose only to use the backside, the side. But I don't want you to think that I didn't watch carefully on the backside. It really helped me. So I want you to start working. First, you're going to work on this unbowling thing starting back there. Then you're going to start working on eliminating this upward and forward movement of the ball and creating more of a downward movement, increasing the distance between your head and the ball. Then you're going to start working on the position of that left hand as soon as the left hand leaves contact with the ball. Then I want you to start working really hard on a crossover step. See, your first step right here should be landing dead in front of the toes of the left foot. And the reason for that is simple. We want to move this right leg a little out of the way, a little towards the left, so that you can create more space here for the bowling ball to come swinging through. And that should be one of the easier things for you to implement into your game. All right, JT, thank you very much for allowing me to help you with your game. My email is daniel@bestbowling.com. If you need anything, please, shoot me a note. Thank you.